Hi, my name is Marlee Street, and I did my research over the intergenerational transmission of math attitudes and emotions. So to start off, whenever I was doing research on this, we of course found that math attitudes and emotions with children are really influential on their success in the classroom. Of course, if children aren't interested in any subject or it causes them anxiety and stress and things like that, they're not going to be as engaged and they're not going to learn as much from it. And then further studies have shown that these math attitudes and emotions in children can be passed on to them from their parents, intergenerational transmission. So we also found more research showing that this intergenerational transmission of math attitudes and emotions from parents to children can be impacted based on how much the parents are involved in their children's learning. So how much are they helping with homework, specifically math homework? How much are they like trying to help their children learn versus just telling them to go figure it out at school, things like that. So this study specifically is wanting to further understand this pattern of intergenerational transmission. And so we decided to do this by looking at multiple dimensions of math attitudes and emotions, including math anxiety, so how stressed the students and parents are when presented with math, like how much anxiety it causes them. And then math interest, so how interested the children and the parents are in math. Do they find it something useful and something interesting? And then math usefulness, do they find math as a useful skill, something that will help them later on in life? And then math stereotypes, which is more along the lines of, do they think math is more something for boys versus something for girls? Things along those lines. And then we also wanted to look at the strength of these intergenerational transmissions, comparing highly involved parents, so those parents that are constantly like helping their children with homework and like school and stuff like that, specifically math homework, and then versus parents who aren't as involved in their children's learning, who don't help their children with math homework and things like that. And then, so how did we study this? We collected data from 73 families with 5th to 7th graders, and then we had the parents and the children self-report their math attitudes and emotions and motivations using several different scales, including the mathematics anxiety scale for children, the Fenema-Sherman mathematics attitude scale, the math anxiety scale for teachers, and a combination of other methods to determine how much the parents were involved. And so for results, we made 2 correlation tables to compare highly involved parents against less involved parents. And we had parental variables and child variables. So for those parental variables, we have parental math anxiety, parental math interest, parental math usefulness, and parental math stereotype, and child math anxiety, child math importance, child math interest, and child math stereotype. So for highly involved parents, we have one significant correlation, and that is between parental math anxiety and child math importance, which is a negative correlation, meaning that as parental math anxiety increases, child math importance decreases. And then for less involved parents, we have one significant correlation between parental math usefulness and child math anxiety, which is a positive correlation, meaning as parental math usefulness increases, child math anxiety increases. So these correlations help us to determine that these higher parental math anxiety scores for parents who are highly involved are more likely to have children with lower math importance, but only for those highly involved parents. And then we also found for the less involved parents that higher parental perceived usefulness of math. So if the parents see math as more useful, then the child is more likely to develop math anxiety. So what are the implications of this? When parents with these negative math emotions are constantly involved with their children's homework, they're helping, they're more likely to project those like negative attitudes onto their children, which will decrease their child's interest and importance of math because they're projecting that stress onto them and it's not going to make them value math anymore. And then for the less involved parents who have these high hopes and high expectations of math, the high usefulness, they project those attitudes onto their children, which causes their children's math anxiety to increase because those children understand that math is an important skill. but when they're struggling with it, they don't have that support and that guidance from their parents to help them succeed, and which causes them to see math as more of a stressor. So future directions, we want to apply this to a larger and more diverse sample because this research is really important. It can really make a big difference for a lot of children and families and how they're learning and things like that. And then we also want to develop more comparable scales to compare scores between parents and children for math attitudes and emotions in order to make it easier to compare this to a larger scale. So thank you.